Well, good morning. Welcome back. Long time no see. As you can tell, there's been some changes around here. We got a lot to talk about and catch up on, but let me give you the update on where we're at right now. Alrighty, well, currently it is 4:02 a.m. Woke up pretty early this morning. Gonna be taking a good sized road trip up north, headed towards Kalispell, Montana. Gonna go visit a buddy up there, go see what's up north, and see if we can't find something around there that we can drag back home, you know? Haven't told the wife yet, but we got a plan. Have a few Facebook gambles on the line right now, so we gotta unload the truck. Currently I got some wheels for the Z barrel that we're gonna start using for some used oil and stuff like that, but we'll go ahead and pop the storage open and get things unloaded. We were just unloading some stuff for making some room. I'm gonna have to be fitting in some ramps and some other odds and ends of things that are gonna have to fit in the bed of the truck. So got some stuff cleared out. We got the storage units situated right now. Just had to unload these wheels here, barrel I was chatting about. But here the Project Z sits. Got the red 87 with the T-tops. Got some more crap back there that we gotta eventually get to, but for the moment we're gonna take the old reliable. Well, good morning. You've been sleeping for a couple hours now. It's about 7 o'clock this morning, and it's cold as shit up here. So I found this big ass ball, and we're just gonna keep on going now. We got time commits that we gotta hit. So let's hit the road. Well, there she is in all her homemade glory. It's honestly a lot better than what I expected. Just basing it off of photos off of Facebook, you can't really always tell exactly what you're looking at. But for the most part, it seems like a really good trailer. And I got it for a really good steal, so can't beat that. This is something that I've needed for quite a while. It's not the coolest thing to constantly call your friends and beg them to tow your projects around that you can't get running. So, ta-da! Now I can do it myself. And call them when the trailer breaks down to fix it. But let's take a look at the trailer and see what actually we got. So the first thing you're gonna notice about it, it's not exactly anything fancy. It's just enough that I'm gonna be able to adjust it for my specific needs and make it work pretty well. So here she is. Nothing too crazy. The biggest adjustment we're gonna have to deal with is these upper support strands on the inner and outer. Just with how high they are, I'm not 100% sure that will clear on the Z car. So we're gonna have to do probably a little bit of cutting, some adjustment, or I was looking at maybe putting some sort of platform to kind of raise the car up a bit without having to do anything crazy structural, so I don't have to worry about damaging it or making it completely unusable at the current moment. It seems like a very solid trailer for what it is. It seems like an older homemade trailer that somebody spent some time and did things right. It's definitely, like I said, far from perfect, but I think it's going to be a pretty good trailer for the situation I'm in. Not needing anything too crazy or anything that's going to be needing to go cross country for the moment. I think this thing would be able to do it. The guy that I bought it from towed it from here down to California, picked up a Beetle, and hauled it all the way back up here, and he's had no issues with it. So seemed like a really good seller, super good trailer. I can't complain. I'm super happy with it. It's going to work out perfect for what we need it to, which is going to be our next project, which is going to be the Red Z. I don't know if you've met the Red Z yet. This is a parts car that I have torn apart and gutted. The suspension, subframes, motor, trans, ECU, a majority of the important bits of the car. I took those and ended up reviving the original Z. And you'll have a little bit of an update on that, as well as the whole channel switch thing going on here. Kind of doesn't make sense fully, but I'm trying to get back into a strict schedule of getting myself to put out these videos, because I actually enjoy making the content, putting in the effort on the build. It gives me something to wake up and get my ass out of bed, honestly. I am excited to show you guys that one, and give you a big update on the original Z and how far it has come in the little bit of time that we've been parted ways. So we'll get back to it. We're going to hit the road. We got to get back home. We got 4.5 more hours to go. So we're going to try to keep her between the mayo and the mustard and try not to fall asleep at the wheel like I did this morning, you know? We'll see you on the road. So we made it home. As you can see, the trailer squares up nicely with the Z. It is definitely gonna be a comfy fit, but should work out just fine. But as you can see, the Z is not quite what it was when you saw it last. So we'll do a whole big update towards the end of the video, kind of explaining what all happened while you were away. But for right now, we're gonna run to the other storage and check in on the red car that all this came from. Okay, so you saw kind of a mess. Kind of just been used as a storage unit within the storage unit. When we were unfortunately leaving the body shop I worked at, the best option was to just kind of fill this full of parts, and get everything towed away and out of there in one good trip. So this was the candidate. We just filled it full after we wrapped up the rebuild and the turbo swap on the OGZ. Kind of had a rush on time there, so that's another reason why there wasn't too much evidence of that, footage wise. So kind of just had to get things wrapped up and out of there as soon as I could. So unfortunately that kind of took away the experience for you guys. But we're gonna get to cleaning this guy, pull out all this crap, make some room on the floor over there. Okay, so we made some room, we cleared out the inside. You can take a look here where now we get some room in this passenger footwell because we're trying to get access to right there on the firewall. That's going to be right where the ECU mounts. So I'm going to go ahead and go find the ECU that I have laying around for this. I got the ECU, I believe, in one of these totes right here. So we'll go ahead and pop through these guys, get them set off to the side over here and sort through it, so then we can move on to getting this wiring harness installed on the engine bay. And you may recognize this motor because this is the one that we actually rebuilt in the previous videos. It's got the entire drivetrain, suspension setup, basically everything that we took off of the other Z and swapped out. We just threw it right back on this guy, so we had a rolling shell rather than just a shell. But yeah, realistically, it should be a running, driving car, because at one point it was. So, should be good. We just have some electrical issues because the previous owner got a little wire snippy happy, so you will come to find that is quite the common occurrence on this Red Z. As we get to tear into it and building it at some point, you will see some of the really ugly that I'm not too proud of, but I'm proud that I didn't do it myself. So we can take that positive away from it. But let's get these totes pulled down, organized, and find the ECU. Well, after several minutes of looking, ended up finding what we were looking for. Old ECU for the OGZ when it was still just the V6 NA, nothing special. We had to take the ECU out of this guy to swap over, obviously, with the new turbo motor. A little bit different ignition stuff, compression rates are different, so it's got to take the ECU from this turbo car that it was originally in, put it in there. It's been happy, so this one should work fine and dandy. It knows this motor and transmission quite well. It is 40 years old, so realistically there's not much to it besides the hard-coded stuff that's already in there. So we're gonna go ahead and get this wiring harness strung out. Really shouldn't be all that long of a process. It is 40 years old. Not much to plug in. Injectors, alternator. Really, really simple. So let's go do some rocket science. You shall not pass. Kind of makes you feel like a cave diver, huh? Okay. Okay, so we got dug in a little bit, got the wiring ran where it needs to be ran. But ran into a little bit of an issue with too many plugs and not enough, I guess it'd be too many male plugs, not enough female plugs to plug into. So I'm gonna go get the reference vehicle, the OGZ that I know runs, drives, everything's good to go, and go double check some of these plugs and make sure we got things aligned right. So we'll hop in the truck, run home real quick, and swap out vehicles. Alrighty, so we made it back. We went and grabbed the example car that's running and driving right now. So we'll go ahead and compare some of the plugs on the running and driving versus what's sitting here right now. I need a quick refresher. It's been a minute since I've dug into the wiring on these to see what actually gets plugged in out of the few that I have over there. Some of them are for power steering sensors and the AC as well, which obviously on this car are non-existent anymore. But we can go ahead and give you a little rundown on the OGZ and see where she's sitting now. Kind of a big broad update in a really quick little amount of time, but I will give you the best I can for right now. So now you can see she's swapped over to the 87 style front end with the bigger headlights rather than the old style that were the headlight and then the fog light all in one. So we swapped over to those. These fenders you can see sit a little bit wider. It's like the wide body stance of the 87, as well as the rear quarters on that one are a lot wider than these. You can see on here they're just kind of this little bump. On the 87 style it's kind of a wide bodied flare look almost, rather than just a bump right here coming off. So not too worried about the rear end. I really wanted this front end on this car. I like the bigger headlights, the smoother bumper, just overall a lot better in my opinion. And then obviously the 84 style tail lights. But the biggest change is under here. So now we're running the turbo V6. Obviously, if you are anybody that's near these cars or knows anything about these cars, you're cursing me out right now because of this intercooler setup, but I don't care. It came from the parts car. It was technically free. So we swapped the motor over, rebuilt everything. I went and had the heads resurfaced, valves gone through. That was all done over at the machine shop, the rest of the teardown and everything. I did in the body shop with a couple buddies over some weekends that we had, but overall very happy with it. Relocated the battery. Now she's on full coilover suspension, front and rear. Obviously I don't have the hood struts anymore because I haven't reinstalled those. We had some issues with the metal on the body side tearing and a couple other things here or there, but you'll notice she's also all tinted up now, nice and dark. Got some brand stickers. We got some Apex Engineering underneath it for the trans mount. Did a little refresh on the inside. Now we're running the energy hub. Got some switch panels and stuff that I wired in for odds and ends that we have here or there. Little cheap flip out radio that I got off of TikTok for dirt cheap. But yeah, overall very happy with the way it sits currently. Obviously, there's a lot of work needing to be done to make it one solid color. That'll eventually come in the near future, but we got some other important things that are actually sitting in the trunk of it that will be hopefully a bigger, more in-depth video going through it and rebuilding it. We got some good bits in here. We got some Mishimoto, possibly a new clutch. Got a turbo here from Boost Auto. We also got the new wastegate, AFR gauge, some other sensors, some oil lines, odds and ends on things that will be going on it in the future in a much longer in-depth video that I actually keep the camera around and show you what we do at the shop. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead, set this guy up, get things taken a look at. These are the wires and the plugs that I was talking about here. As you can see here, we got just a stray one. There's another one down here that isn't plugged in. Those are all just kind of tucked away off to the side. So I think we'll be okay for this guy with a few of these ones that are just laying in here, but you can see Somebody got a little happy with some wire snips, cut up all kinds of wiring in there. Definitely not important stuff that goes directly to the ECU through the firewall, but who cares? So we got to look at everything so far. Everything on here is matching up decently for everything over here. We have one part that may be missing. It's a little security box that's mounted underneath the battery tray. And it is missing on the Red Z. So I may have one laying around. This car came in all kinds of parts and boxes and stuff laying on the floor. So we'll get sorting through there, and if we don't have one, I will go ahead and get one ordered. I know plenty of guys that have a bunch of these cars that they part out. Shout out to Sean Jarman. He's the one that sent me this engine bay harness in the first place, and I've dealt with him over plenty of other parts, and he's been nothing but amazing. So probably have to reach out to him to get one of those ordered if I can't find one. But super simple, 2 bolts, that goes in, plug it in, and everything should be happy. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. Obviously we started on a different note, going and heading to get that trailer, but I think that does include the Red Z in that, just because that will be the device that I'm needing to tow this guy around to get it fixed up. So got the all clear from the wife there. She wasn't too upset about it. She actually called it our trailer right off the bat. So we like to hear that. We like to hear that when you bring home a project and it's immediately ours. So very lucky to have her supporting me the way I do. I drive her nuts, drive her up the wall, but she puts up with me. So thank you. I found this big ass ball.